I never know when we're actually live. I think we might be. Let's assume we are. Ah.
Come on, everybody, time to get on down with the easy feeling we got going round. No matter what's going on, we'll get you in the mood. Take a deep breath, clear your mind, and soon you feeling good. Jang Gang is the way we keep it real. Put aside our differences, aloha is what we feel. If all the people of the world could join us, then they'll see. Maybe they can finally find peace and harmony.
How's it, everybody? And welcome to the Daily Pigeon. Oh, my goodness. I know we're off to a one. The same kind of start we always are, so it's no big deal. My name's Andy Bumatai, and I will be your host. And if you'd like to send us a message that isn't in the live chat that everybody can see, you can send it to info@bumatai.com. Okay? So we have a special guest co-host today. I will not be calling him legend, and we talked about that offline, but he is a surf icon, someone that most of us idolized as we were growing up. Please help me welcome none other than Mr. Jerry Lopez. How's it, Jerry?
How's it, Andy? Thank you so much for having me, man. Always good to just connect with you. Just listen to you. Makes everybody feel good. Me too.
Well, you know what? Say hi to your sister so you don't forget.
Hey, how's it, Lola? That's my sister. You know?
There we
Watch your show every time, man.
Yeah, we've been talking for about a half hour before we came on, so I'm sorry about any inside jokes. I put your name up here, but it looks like on that Palaka shirt you can't really see it well. So there's that. Wait a minute. What if I put it up here? There we go. Now we know people. Yeah. How you been? Well, how's things in Bend, Oregon, there where you're coming in from?
Good. You know, this time of year is the beautiful time. The weather's warm.
When
Plenty
does it?
Hawaiians here too.
I'm sorry?
There's plenty Hawaiians live here in Bend. You
Yeah, I
must
know.
like-
It's so funny. I just had Greg Hammer on, and he was co-hosting with me, and I said, "So where you coming in from?" He goes, "Oh, Bend, Oregon." I went, "Wow, what do you guys know we don't?" Okay, there we go. Now we got the non-name version of this. So today we do news items here, right? Just to keep people interested in just figuring out a little bit of what's going on in Hawaii. We're going to talk about a tsunami warning that didn't happen, okay? So I tell you what, let's just get that one right out of the way here, because a lot of people are texting me, what's going on with the tsunami? Like, I'm the weather guy. But let's take a look at that first off.
There was no tsunami threat to Hawaii this morning after a strong earthquake struck off Russia. Scientists say we can expect more earthquakes in the near future. Stephen Florino has details.
Okay, be honest, Jerry. When you hear there's an earthquake anywhere and swells are heading for Hawaii, what's your first thought?
Well, make sure my board is ready just in case.
True surfer. I knew it. I do the same thing. Oh, wow. North Shore going to be slamming. Oh, hey, start.
Everyone remembers the gridlock on Oahu in July because of a tsunami warning. That was triggered after an earthquake at the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. Scientists say today's earthquake, an aftershock from that one.
The aftershock sequence from a big earthquake like the 8.8 can happen for weeks, months, even years after.
After an earthquake, scientists monitor hundreds of sensors spread out across the Pacific to check if a tsunami was generated.
How could an aftershock be a year later? Isn't that another earthquake?
You remember when we were growing up, Andy, and used to have all the tidal wave warnings? The thing would go off and the parents would wake us up and you have to drive up. If you live, one low place, you had to get in the car, everybody pile in the car and drive up the hill and just wait till the all clear came.
Yeah.
Remember that? In the 50s and the 60s.
And,
Plenty tidal wave warnings.
yeah, and I don't remember them ever hitting.
I know.
It's always, ladies and gentlemen, the weather control has one thing to say: Rabanek.
They're amazing because they're sitting down 4,000 meters below the sea floor, below the sea surface, and they're able to measure millimeter changes in water height.
Because tsunami waves can be spread out 15 minutes apart, that creates some lag time for the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center to issue its alerts. There are many factors involved if a tsunami is generated after an earthquake. Some of them include the shape of the ocean floor, how deep that earthquake occurred, and of course, the size. But when it comes to magnitude, scientists say, don't let that number fool you. Scientists say we were extremely fortunate in July, and because earthquakes can happen throughout the Pacific where we might not have as much lead time, it's crucial for the public to heed warnings.
There's a lot of great information that's coming out, and they respond so quickly to when these happen in order to keep our communities safe. It's really important to pay attention to what they're doing.
Stephen Florino, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
I love it. Over here, Namaste Sen says, earthquake nerds make a distinction between earthquakes and aftershock. I've never heard that term, earthquake nerds. But there are people that chase tornadoes around and stuff, right?
Well, when we were growing up, you ran away from the tidal wave, but then when I moved to Maui and I was living there, they had, once in a while you get a tidal wave warning alert. They blow the horns or whatever, the sirens. And everybody was, with coolers of beer, was going down the beach to watch the tidal wave coming.
Especially when the water recedes before the big wave and all the tourists run out into the shallows. Oh, it's crazy. Hey, Jerry, Gooch Kawa wants to know how you ended up in Bend.
We came one summer, and the summertime is actually the most beautiful weather here in the Pacific Northwest, and we really liked it. And then we heard that the snowboarding was good, and we were just interested in snowboarding. Grow up in Hawaii, you never even see snow. So we came that right after Christmas that year, and oh boy, that was it. We just fell in love with the place. And then people, that lived here go, where did you come from? And I go, Maui. And they go, why did you leave Maui? Because over here is nice.
That's funny. I remember one time when I was on the road and the guy goes, "Bah, are you from Hawaii? I just have a question for you. Where do Hawaiians go for their vacations?" And I told him, well, me, personally, I go to Barstow. Oh, and hey, there's Keone Nunes. Do you know Keone?
Hey, how's it going?
There he is right there. Hey, aloha. He's in Thailand.
Oh boy.
I know. And he's going to get some kind of award for pimping that place out so much you want to go live there. He talks about the health care and the cost of things in general. You've surfed there, haven't you?
Never in Thailand. Always went to Indonesia. But you know what, Andy? Speaking about awards, I just wanted to say congratulations on your Hoku Hanohano Lifetime Achievement Award. That's
Yeah,
something
that's coming in
special.
November, so we'll see if I make it.
Yeah, I know. Usually you get a Lifetime Achievement Award. You guys our age, then that's
you
like
get,
a kiss of death, man.
you're
But
required to immediately die, so as
that's
not to disappoint the Hoku board.
that's really fantastic.
Oh, thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Thank you. I'm not the only one getting an achievement award that day. I think Pandanus Club, Kelly Boy DeLima and his group, and also Brother Walter. There's a whole bunch of people that are getting awards that day. And in fact, I told him, I said, I haven't put out a record in 2 dog lives here. What? I thought this was a recording award. He goes, oh no, podcast and stuff you do count. So, mahalo.
Well, no, it is quite an achievement, and you've done so much. I know how modest you are, but for comedy in Hawaii, you never have that much before you guys.
Well, Sterling Mossman, remember KK Kaumanua, right?
Manua.
Jay Akuhead Pupuli, and a lot of what he did, I would call comedy. Sterling Mossman, there were a few, but nobody did it, just as a comic. I remember when I first started, people go, "Oh, really? Okay, so what kind of music you play?"
Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
But yeah, I mean, all that booga booga and everything, that was like really the beginning for me. I mean, I remember Sterling Mossman because when we were small kid time, we used to spend a lot of time down there, Queen Surf. And he was a policeman, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he used to come and get on the stage and just like take over. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. And amazing. Hey, Jerry, Mad Statter, who has her own show on Twitter and on YouTube, was wondering if you had any stories about Buffalo. She's in the Pacific Northwest up there near Seattle.
Oh, Buffalo Keaulana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mayor of Makaha, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one time they had a surf contest. It was actually one of the first professional events sponsored by Smirnoff Vodka. And I was in the finals. It was a big day at Makaha. And I remember me and Jimmy Blears, we were in high school together.
I
Lord
remember
Kelly-
Jimmy. Yeah.
we were the same age, and we were both in the finals. And when they had just moved out there, so they were living there, and he knew that break much better than me. And this was a big day. I mean, solid 15, maybe a couple 20-foot sets, and point surf Makaha. And
Sure.
as we were paddling, I go, Jimmy, where are you gonna sit? He goes, oh, I'm gonna sit in the bowl, play it safe. Then when we caught a few waves out there, and I looked and had somebody way down by the point. And I go, wow, I wonder who that is. And finally we saw him take off, and it was George Donnie. He rode a wave all the way from way deep down the point, made it all the way through the bowl. And I told Jimmy, I'm gonna go down there, and I want to catch a wave like that. So I went down there, and George was there. I thought, George, can you pick me a good wave catch? And he goes, yeah. And so a set came, I go, this one. He goes, no, not this one. It looked good to me, and waited to George give me the green light, and then finally he goes, yeah, maybe this one. Try this one. So I paddled like crazy. I caught the wave, and as soon as I stood up, the thing was closing out all the way to the bowl. And I went, oh man, I'm in for it now. And then I looked to my left, and here was Buffalo he had a Boston whaler, and he had two photographers from Life magazine who were in the bottom of the boat hugging the seat, because they were scared.
Yeah.
He was off on this wave. It was almost a 20-foot wave. And Buffalo was standing, he had his dark shades on, he was smoking a cigarette, driving the boat, so casual. And he's just looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And moments before that, when I saw position I was in, the bad position I was in on this wave, and thought I was going to die, I looked over at his Buffalo right next to me.
With a camera.
And with cigarettes, smoking cigarettes right next to me. That took all the tension out of that situation, I tell you what.
Yeah, but you weren't going left, were you? You were going right.
Straight.
Oh, you were going straight. But, people don't know, if you're goofy foot and you take off at Makaha, it's 20 feet, you're facing your back to the wall.
Yeah.
Scary. Oh, man. That's funny. Oh. Yeah, but here's my buff story. He was standing on the beach and he had poked on big fish. I forget what kind, but he's coming out of the water looking like a Hawaiian with a fish. And these tourists go, "Can we take your picture?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, of course. And by the way, I'll let you know, you can fry this fish, you can boil this fish, but the way the Hawaiians like for eat them." And he stick his thumb in the okole, rip the fish open and go, "Ow!" The owl hanging out of his mouth. And he's, I thought I was going to die laughing too much. Oh, bad. Oh, you know what? We got a lot of questions coming in here, and I'm missing a lot of them because here's. I don't know if you know these. Can you see the? You can see the comments.
It's my brother.
Oh, there we go. And this Dalton just got back from Bali, and he said, "Stay with the Friends Villa in Uluwatu, looking down at Dreamland." And he was saying people there idolize you, bro. I know. And here's Keaulana again. "I don't think that Jerry remembers, but he took a group of us from Waianae out to Waikiki surfing. I was about 9 or 10 at the time, and he was still is awesome." How's that? Yeah, the Waianae guys right there. Okay, I tell you what, let's do this next news item and then we'll play a little music thing. This one really warms my heart, Jerry, because my wife, like I said, she's an educator. She works at a school. She was in a classroom. Now she's doing more administrative, been there 11 years. But this news item, it's weird. It makes me happy and sad at the same time. I'll explain after we watch.
One local 8th grade teacher got a big surprise during her school's faculty meeting. Island News reporter Angela Safone shares the story behind the unexpected moment.
I'm here at Princess Ruth Keaulana Middle School, where one local 8th grade teacher is getting a very big surprise.
Very school.
What started off as a normal Wednesday faculty meeting quickly turned into a big surprise for one local teacher. Himiku Medaleon, an 8th grade English teacher at the Princess Ruth Keaulana Middle School, won the Fisher Hawaii and University of Hawaii's classroom makeover contest.
I'm still very surprised at it. And I'm just so grateful. I didn't realize it was going to be a huge thing, but it kind of shows just how much you should celebrate things like this.
But for her supporters, it was no surprise she won.
Her essay was just so powerful and intentional and strong, and I remember being able to visualize what her classroom was going to look like.
This opportunity allows teachers to not only focus on providing a successful environment for their students, but also allows new teachers to feel a little less stressed about finances.
Can you believe what they just said? That teachers feel a little less about finances, Believe me, we know firsthand in this house how little teachers make, and that they would give her $500 and her first thought is, "Oh, good, now I can afford stuff for my classroom."
The class, that's a true teacher, huh?
That's a true teacher. After this, we're going to talk about teachers that affected us. I used to go surfing with one of my teachers.
I think that the physical classroom is such an important part to the learning environment, and I have a very clear vision of what I want for my classroom. You know, I might not necessarily have the means to do it right now.
And while it's awesome and you're so excited, it costs a lot to make it what you want it to be for your students.
And although teaching can come at a cost, you can't put a price tag on doing the things you love. And for Kimiko, it's clear it's teaching.
It's everything I wanted it to be, and even more. I wasn't expecting to be so happy.
Watch this.
Oh. As you can see, Kimiko brings so much love and passion to her classroom, and they want to continue helping future teachers as much as possible. Angela Safone, Island News.
Oh no, watch out. Hold on. I was reading something and I got caught. Look at this. Brother Sam says, okay, not only did they write Princess Ruth's name wrong, but they repeated Princess Ruth several times. The what? Repeated? Is that what he meant to say? Help me out. I went public school, bro. Was that Princess Ruth's name? Oh, and by the way, your friend Kavika says, Jerry, I'm working on with some guys planning a fundraiser event for Dakota Breeley, possibly a live show concert on the North Shore sometime. He was the one hurt in the accident right there in front of, yeah. Okay. So now you know. All right. Okay. Yeah, and good for her. Yeah, thank you, Brother Sam. You know, I don't know if you were here when Brother Sam was doing Cheap Eats. He had a real popular show where they went to places and basically ate. It was him and Lena Girl used to do that years ago. Yeah. You know Jerry Lopez, Brother Sam. Okay. And let's see. And Darlene S. says, teachers are so important on the Kiki's lives, not only the educational part, but what they do with them. They deserve so much recognition and support for classrooms. Who was your favorite teacher, Jerry?
Well, my mom was a teacher her whole life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She ended up at Kaimaki High School for, I don't know, a long time. And in the end, she was the student counselor, and she had plenty bad boys that she had to take care of. Leonard Drago, China Uemura.
Oh, China? You mean the surfer China?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These guys, there was small chance they was going to get through high schools, but my mom,
helped them.
Took them under her wing, and made them her monitors that would deliver messages that she needed delivered. So they got to go to high school.
Terry in Scotland, thank you for cheering the 1,000 bits. I appreciate that. That's a donation on the Twitch side. And anybody who's new to the show, we are on YouTube, 2 channels, Facebook, 2 channels, LinkedIn, Twitch, and X. So that's 7 platforms that we broadcast on simultaneously. I know. Okay. And Keone says, I'm not going to tell you how much teachers make in international schools here. The U.S. should be ashamed. There's a lot of we should be ashamed about. Don't start me on the healthcare system. Anyway, Jerry Lopez trivia. Was his stance goofy? Yes or no? Oh, come on. Who doesn't know what? Yeah, I forget that there are people who don't surf on this channel. My vote would be yes. And if you don't believe me, wait, check this out. I don't know if you remember sending me that. You were, I guess, with Jamie O'Brien.
Yeah, that's a wave pool up in Lake Chelan, Washington, that a couple friends of mine built up there.
Wow.
And really a wonderful thing, these wave pools now have become so popular, and really a great surfing experience, because nowadays you go in the ocean and all the surf spots are so busy because surfing has become so big and popular, that sometimes there's a lot of tension in the water.
Sometimes.
Pretty much every time, you all hoo-hoo at each other. But at these wave pools, and we have a wave like that. That's known as a standing wave.
Yeah.
We have one like that here in Bend in the river, and the reason there's no tension at these wave pools or the river wave is because everybody stands in line and takes turns to ride their wave, and they all respect the taking turns part.
It used to be like that in the lineup in most places. I remember when I was surfing, the reason I quit when I was about 50 is I couldn't get a wave. All the kids were just snaking. My dick, go uncle, take this one. Remember? You throw the old guys a bone.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So, but Kelly, take for instance, Kelly Slater's, that wave is actually moving. It's not a standing wave.
That is very much like a wave in the ocean. Yeah, that's a beautiful wave.
What's your opinion on these waves? I mean, not only does it, there's no crowds and there's people lines and stuff, but imagine one wave that does the same thing every single time and you're trying to practice a maneuver.
Well, that's the best way to do it. But, it's really interesting in all these wave pools is every time you get on a wave there, it's not, you think it's going to be exactly the same as the last one, but it's not.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, because you understand the whole, concept of a wave is not the water moving, it's the energy that they create that moves through the water. And that's what you, as a surfer, are connecting with that energy. And that energy is alive, that's the mana. And so that makes each and every wave have a little different personality, just a little.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I read somewhere that when you first surfed Kelly's wave, because he invited you to be the first one to ride the left there.
And they made it the left.
Yeah, they created a left. They said, Jerry's got to be the one to initiate this. That was so cool. And Keone says, okay, confession time. Last time I went surfing was with Andy. My back and arms were out in paddling shape, and we never even caught a wave. So sad. Hey, but you know what? I got to tell you, there's value in even that,
Well, I believe that the most value in surfing is paddling that surfboard.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that is where the most physical benefit comes from, because you build up the upper body musculature, and that helps your breathing. And I mean, it's very, very healthy sport, even if you aren't riding waves. If you just go get a surfboard and just go paddle it.
You know what? I tell you what, since we're on the subject of surfing and stuff, you need to indulge me for just a moment. I found a clip of you surfing pipeline back in your pipeline days, okay? And I know you've seen a million of those kind of waves, all over the internet. But I was wondering, could we go through what you're thinking as you're dropping in on these amazing waves at pipeline? Let me show it one time, then we'll back up and stop it at different points. Would you be okay with that?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, so here's the wave.
Okay.
Okay, now, first the thing I noticed, this is back pre-leash.
Yep, no more leashes back then.
You fall, you swim. Now, pipeline's not a bad swim, but still, it's shallow. So here you're taking off. What's going through your mind?
Well, right at this moment here, I hope I can make it to my feet.
Are you serious? I mean, you've done it so many times. You're not thinking past this point. You're concentrating on standing?
Actually, the reality of the situation, and it never really became apparent until after about 20 years of surfing, that when you're in this moment, you've already saw the wave coming and made the decision that you were going to catch this wave, and you turned around and started paddling, that your focus was so incredibly intense that you actually entered a state of mind that is really a very deep meditative state.
Wow.
And so there's actually nothing going through your mind. Your mind is just completely blank and completely open, just trying to make yourself one with this moment.
Wow. Okay. Now, so we're going to advance forward here a little bit. Okay. Now you're at your feet. Now you're dropping. Now, right here, most people would look at that wall about to eat them. Are you looking past it? Are you looking to the top, the bottom of the wave? What?
Well, there's the beauty of this wave at the pipeline, which took a lot of surfboard design evolution to make surfboards that allowed you to take the drop this late, but you knew what the wave was going to do because I'd done this many times, that it was actually going to make a tube big enough that I could stand up in, and I would count on that. So yeah, I knew what was coming, and I wasn't real worried that the wave was going to break on my head, as long as I did everything right.
When you're looking at what we call the lip and it's going over, do you go, okay, I'm too fast, I need to slow down a little bit? Because I notice you do kind of an adjustment at the bottom here. Here, let me show you what I mean. Here, I'm going to start it and stop it again. Here, hold on. See here. Okay, right now here. Now, you see how right there? It's like you faded a little bit to be able to have it go over your head.
Yeah, just, it was a little pause to set myself a little deeper into the wave. I've delayed my turn just for a moment.
Just for a moment. Is that like muscle memory, or was it a conscious, okay, I need to do this?
Well, this is the first time I had a look at the wave, because at first I'm just concentrating on getting to my feet.
Yeah.
But then now that I'm standing and I can position myself where I want to be on this wave. And, on this wave, I'm actually a little bit ahead of it. And so I'm trying to slow myself down a bit to
look at this, and
the wave to go by me.
Namaste Zen says, how much of the bottom turn is stalling for timing? I guess
all of it.
All of it. Let's go. Okay, so let's watch the rest of it here. And then, right, this is what always got me about watching you surf. Okay. You take off. There's that little stall. You drive into it. Right there. Wipe your nose on the way in.
Yeah, had Hanohano coming out. So
Oh, man. But I'm saying, it was that little thing, and you had this other habit of kind of tickling the wave as it was going over. People used to go, "What golly? If he had a watch, he'd be checking it."
That was actually, in a way, a tribute to a great surfer from the generation before me. One of the best. His name was Phil Edwards.
Phil Edwards, of course.
Great surfer, from California.
Yeah.
But he was the first one to surf the pipeline, and he was famous for what they call the nose tweak.
Oh, that really? Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
So that was, just something that I copied
Oh,
from him.
wow, that's good. Phil Edwards went on to, he had the Phil Edwards surfboards, right?
In Hawaii for a little while. Yeah, he married a local girl,
Wow.
Stevens, Dr. Stevens' daughter, you know, and they're from Black Point.
We want to say hi to the compliments who are rating with a party of 7. How's it, gangy? Thanks for being here. We're talking to a surf icon, Gerry Lopez, here, co-hosting with me today. So thanks to all the people who are just joining us. We're going to do, you know what? Let's take a musical break here, okay? And this one takes us to... I forget, so I'll just play the video and hope I hit the right button, okay? First of all...
Hey, I'm a Jan Gang. This is Rick S. in Wisconsin at my cabin. And we don't get the internet up here, so I gotta find other things to do. So, later.
mean ass. Yeah. That road doesn't even look like that anymore now. I heard they fixed it.
They did?
I think they reupholstered it. You know what I'm saying? Or something.
They
I don't
needed it.
Yeah. Hey, did you see Kamaka Brown coming in here?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, you were on his show a while back, huh?
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah. He's in Japan for the sumo tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope he does well in it. Hoo-yosh! Yeah, he's a good friend. We did Pasadena recently at the Ice House in Pasadena. In fact, hold on, let me do a little, shameless self-promotion here because I always forget to do this. But I will be in Mousie's next week, September 27th. That's a Saturday, okay? And then on the 28th, I'll be in Santa Cruz and at Ponos. These are the first time I'll be at either of these clubs. And then in November, speaking of the Ice House, Augie Tolba and I, will be there November 15th. Okay? So there you go. Ooh, okay, now we paid the bills. Oh, what I forgot. We also have one other sponsor that we need to run. It's a minute spot, but without sponsors, we can't do the show. So hope you don't mind, Gerry. We'll be right back.
How's it? My name is Nui Kakio, and I'm in Stockman store just for local people called Stink Food. That's right, gang. All that kind of stink food you ain't grow up loving for grind in one convenient location. That's right, we get the kind kimchi, hamha, bagaon, and the largest selection of natto in the state. And party season coming up, you gonna have plenty left over. And how you gonna make chook without the kind salt turnip? And remember, gang, with every order over $100, you gonna get the free yard sign that says, look on 911, I stay cooking stink food. So, come to our convenient location, 95212 Ononui Street in beautiful Hanohano, Hawaii. And remember, if the neighbors no can smell them, we no sell them. Mahalo.
There you go. Okay. Well, now we got that out of the way. Stink food, bro.
And do you remember Lippy Espinda?
Oh.
Every Saturday, Big Time Wrestling.
Big Time Wrestling.
Stink food remind me of him.
You talk about Jimmy Blair's, his dad, right? Mr. Blair's, yeah, right?
The Big Time Wrestling.
Big Time Wrestling.
Locker room interviews. Curtis the Bull.
Curtis the Bull, Iokea, and Johnny Baran. Remember those guys?
Yeah.
My dad was a huge fan. Laura Blair's was surfing for a while, right? Didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She was doing well.
Yeah, the women's.
I remember her boyfriend, Bon, another goofy foot, had this amazing, long, drawn-out cutback when he used to come Makaha, because he was facing this way, right? He used to fade way out.
Yeah.
Some people just, they had like signatures. Remember Barry Kainapuni, his bottom turn? How he would just go way out?
Yeah.
Amazing, I know. Whew. Oh, look at Kamaka Brown says, no forget Tosh Togo.
Togo, that's right.
There you go. Hi, Felicia. Here's our. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is our front. We call her the front row hottie. She always comes to the shows and sits right in the front. So there we go. Ooh, Lynn Nakasone, aloha from Colfax, California. Mahalo for being here, Lynn. Thanks. Ooh, and Keone Nunes says, I remember Liffy Espinda clock on the old Civic Auditorium. Yeah. Do you remember the Lippy Espinda guarantee? in his commercials, he goes, and with every car you buy, you gonna get the Lippy Spinda guarantee. It works like this. I throw you on shaka as you driving off. When you no can see the shaka anymore, the guarantee is pow. He was the best, man. I gotta tell you. Okay, now we're going to go into a little store that's closing. Okay, do you remember Jellies? Were you a fan of that kind of stuff? Do you remember Jellies? They had old records and old books and comic books. They used to be there on in the university area, right in where Keaulana would cross University. Do you remember that? I didn't really go there a lot because it was a little bit before my time. But let me see if I can find this. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. It should be this one. This will give you an idea.
Go down memory lane right here. This is an iteration of Jellies Comics and Books, a shop that may have been part of your teen years or childhood in the 80s or 90s.
That's Holo Holo with Jelani Martinez to Ideas, Music,
Aloha,
and Books
Kamaka.
in Kaka'ako.
It's nostalgia. It's old time, like old CDs, old, hard to find stuff, books, records, all that good stuff, you know?
Before Ideas, Music, and Books, there was Jellies, Comics and Books.
Jellies was wild. All walks of life came in.
From working with Jellies to here, it's pretty much, very much the same. There's something for everybody here. So, you know, from books to music to movies, comics, toys.
Cindy Lau first opened Jellies along Keaulana in 1983.
And my wife opened a store behind a furniture place. You had to go through the furniture place to get to it. And she was mostly interested in the kids, and she was very much into comics.
How did your wife come up with the name?
Her niece would always tell her Jelly Billy. And so we've shortened it to Jellies.
I love Cindy. I love her. She always told me she wanted every child to learn to read. That's why the book department was kind of her baby.
Jellies moved locations several times, from town to Aiea and Mililani. In 2016, Cindy's husband Norm Winter and longtime Jellies employee Shirley Neely opened up Ideas, Music, and Books at the Coral Commercial Center in Kaka'ako. There you'll find all kinds of treasures: cassette tapes, records, CDs, and DVDs.
Jellies was a family, and so that's what I tried to build or continue in Ideas.
After a nearly 10-year run, they've made the tough decision of closing shop due to financial reasons.
Hard to say, I'm torn because this is like my dream job, and I don't know where to go from here, so it's sort of sad for me. You know, it's kind of like the end of, I don't know, something that's been significant in Hawaii for so long. I wish it could go on forever.
I want to thank every single person who stepped foot in Jellies, in Ideas, all these years, all the ones that keep coming back every week, every day. And hopefully we can, you know, rise from the ashes again, but that's for another time.
This is Holo Holo with Jolani for Hawaii News Now.
Wow. They're closing Sunday, you know. And it's funny how Pokoli T says, Aspa Kikaira. Jiro changey kikaira. Remember that word? And you'd get to that one part in the song, you didn't know it, and you just go, nanga nanga nanga, nanga nanga na. I know. Do you collect anything old?
I get so much junk. I don't know what to do with it.
Really? What kind of stuff?
Surfboards, old clothes, all kind of junk. Snowboards.
Yeah, but you know what? some of the lightning bolts are just, I mean, they're collectibles now. The original ones from your days back when Rob Burns and guys were over there shaping and all that stuff.
Yeah, actually, the only old one I got left is a Wayne Santos lightning bolt. I don't know if you remember Wayne Santos, but he was my friend, and
Yeah.
he was
Shaper?
there. We started lightning bolt.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know him at all. Yeah, but I remember those early days. That was crazy the way Lightning Bolt took off. You and Rory and and all this. I mean,
Eric Kanafumi, yeah, he was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, that's a whole nother show in itself, the Lightning Bolt days. But let me just ask you this. Did the success surprise you?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, you know, the surf shop is always a struggle. I mean, you just like barely making it, and we sold a lot of surfboards. All of a sudden, just you know, it took off, and the Japanese guys used to come.
Yeah.
Big gang of them would come, and everyone would buy a new surfboard.
Wow.
And oh, those kind of days. Oh, they clean out the store, you know. So, hey, everybody get to work with no more boards.
Wow. You know, I remember in surf magazines were the Bibles during this period. You know, nobody was online, so it was all, every other wave was, the guy was on a lightning bolt, you know.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an ad that said, please don't put a lightning bolt on your board if it's not a bolt. Do you remember that ad?
Well, you know, we didn't realize it at the time, but when you have a brand and a trademark, that if you don't actively protect it, then it becomes generic and you know, become public domain. So you have to, if anybody else was using our brand, you know, you had to go after them and tell them, hey, you got to stop.
Yeah.
But everybody was doing it. You just paint them on the boards.
Well, it was an easy, 4 pieces of tape. You had a lightning bolt on your board, you know. The same people did. Remember Hang 10 shorts, right? When we were in Waianae, we couldn't afford the real ones, so we used to take black marsh pen and just put the feet right on.
Got a toes.
Yeah, the 10 toes. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We have one more news items. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour, but Nani, who's batphoning me here. When I say batphone, by the way, this is what I'm talking about. You see this over here? She sends me these messages. By the way, Nani is the one who puts all these graphics and everything on the on the, you know, not to show him something, put some graphics up here or something, and she's in Sacramento doing this. I mean, what a wonderful time to be alive, you know? Yeah, like this kind of stuff here, you know, you'd say, oh, what happened? Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Don't tell me I turned everything off. Sorry, Donnie. Oh, man. I know. Wait a minute. Let's see. Where am I here? Okay, wait. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I gotta turn. Oh, look at me. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Whoo.
Oh boy, we're gonna get it from Nani.
I know, I'm telling you, man. Well, she's an associate producer, and we talk for hours on the phone trying to figure stuff out, and then I get on camera and screw everything up. So, but what else is new, right? That's our job, isn't it, Jerry?
Yes. Just bumble through life.
You know, last time you were on here, we talked talking about bumbling through life. You talked about the balance of the good angel and the bad angel on your shoulders and stuff. You know, and a lot of people don't know that. You know, that was a big part of did surfing come first, or did the yoga thing follow close after?
Well, I mean, I started surfing when I was 10 years old, but I never really got serious till about, well, 1968. And 1968 was when yoga came into my life as well. So it was kind of a simultaneous thing that they both really happened at the same time. And, I think that's how it was meant to be. I look back and at surfing anyway and realize that this is really a tremendous gift that we in this lifetime were given, to have the opportunity to do that. And in a way, yoga is the same thing. And it doesn't happen for everybody, but when it does, and if it does, it's a wonderful thing. And I encourage everyone to make an extra effort to embrace either one of them, because tremendously beneficial physically, mentally, and most especially spiritually.
Yeah, there's so many life lessons in surfing. I was talking to our friend Fred Hemmings, right? The first amateur world champion from Hawaii, right? And and I was asking him, I said, sometimes I'm getting caught inside and, I'm just doing everything I can, but it feels like the ocean just doesn't want to let me out for some reason. And I just working and working. What do you suggest in a situation like that? He said, bro, paddle in. It's not your day. I was expecting this profound. He goes, bro. He goes, and then he leans in and goes, life's like that too, bro.
You just gotta paddle in.
Sometimes you just gotta go. I'm going in. It's not my day.
Some days are like that.
Have you ever, and without getting maudlin, have you ever come close to a wipeout that you wondered, OMG, am I going to make it out of this one?
Well, I remember in one incident, I was with the leash. The leash can actually, it really saves you from having to swim after your board, but in a certain situation in big waves, it can become a real liability and can actually hold you underwater. And we were surfing on a place out on the south side of Maui called La Perouse Bay, which is, on a south swell, received that south swell bigger than probably any other spot in the Hawaiian Island chain. And I remember getting caught inside and being held down for not one, not two, but three waves. And I thought, this is it, And
what's that? Over a minute?
Well, it may have been close to a minute, but it wasn't as long as it seemed.
Oh yeah, never. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like 4 days.
But when the second one went over, I went, "Oh, okay, this is serious." I gotta, relax.
Yeah.
I gotta, don't panic here. And then, the leash was still holding me down because the board was pulling so far inside of me and the board was up and I was down. So you can't, go straight up. The only way you could go is at the board and to, release the tension on the lead. And then the third wave came and I went, oh man, I got to get up after this one. But that one, actually helped me because it pushed me in towards the board and release that tension. And I was able to come to the surface and suck some air.
I thought you were going to say at Pipeline you went over and then the leash got caught up in one of those little rocks and stuff. That I've heard that happen to people, Wow. Well, I'm glad you made it. Oh man. As a comic, I should have said, so what, Jerry, did you make it?
Yeah. But all I could think about was air.
perfect. As I stood under the churning, merciless sea. It's so,
90 feet and glassy.
no, but you, was it big that day?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
But
I mean, I'd been in much bigger waves, but it was a powerful situation.
Yeah.
And I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
some of the worst wipeouts will happen on a 6 to 8 foot day where nobody expected to. It just, you're at the mercy of the sea, man. Unreal. Well, I'm glad you made it, brother, because you're here today. So let's do this last one. This is about cell phones in schools, okay? I mean, cell phones to me are one of those gifts. A lot of the technology is just so wonderful. But when you see these kids that just can't live without letting their phone go, I often leave the house and leave my phone home because I don't want to be tethered, But there's generations of kids that just OMG be without my phone, and I think this is a good story about that. So I think this is it.
Results from a new DOE survey are raising fresh questions about cell phone use in schools. The survey also has the Board of Education now deciding what to do to balance concerns on both sides of the issue. Jill Kuramoto reports.
85% of Hawaii's public schools now have written rules governing students' cell phone use during the school day. But the first statewide survey completed this spring reveals a big divide in how the rules are viewed and whether they're working. The Department of Education conducted 2 surveys, one of all 257 school principals in the state. The most common policy, phones must be turned off during class, but enforcement varies. In fact, some high schools don't have any written policy at all, those schools saying it's not a problem on their campus. The other survey, called the Panorama Survey, of more than 24,500 students, teachers, staff, and families, found sharp differences. Over half the students feel the rules are working, but among adults, support drops into the 20s. Teachers and staff say phones distract from learning or fuel bullying. Students, nearly half, say phones neither help nor hurt their learning.
If there were to be a cell phone policy, there would need to be very clear communication in terms of what the process would be for parents to contact their students when there are emergencies.
There are only 34 states that have a statewide policy on cell phone use in the classrooms.
If you try and create a policy, it's going to break down. You just have to be able to trust. And teachers need to be able to make up classroom guidelines.
We're still developing and looking what needs to be done. These are guidelines so that it is consistent throughout our 250 some odd schools, and the resources, what needs to be done. So it's going to take some discussion and time, but we need to do it and make sure that we do it on a timely manner.
Board of Education committee members say they hope to have at least a draft of a statewide policy on cell phone use in the schools ahead of the upcoming legislative session. Joe Kuramoto, K212 News, working for Hawaii.
Wow. I don't know if you've seen these little lockers that they have. They're like pouches, and you put a phone in it, and then you touch it on the wall, and it locks the pouch so you can't get to it. Those are selling like wildfire all across America in schools for that particular reason.
I haven't seen those.
It's crazy, I start to, I remember, when I was in school, passing notes was a big no-no. Remember that one?
Yeah.
or if you got caught with that thing that went like this, remember that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was our internet. Ooh, wow. You love Charlie, Oh. Okay, there we go. Hey, we got through it, Jerry. It's the bottom of the hour, and very few casualties. And Nani is saying, what's this? Keone Nunes. Hold on. Okay, when She says, when leashes first came out, my friend decided to make his own with some round rubber tubing. Not a good idea. Would snap back, you know. No, just past Makaha, right? There's that park there, and there was some good waves there, sure. But if you lost your board, it would hit the reef because it was right there, and it was like a wall, right? So we drilled a hole in our skeg. Did I just show my age?
What is that?
Because we this was during the longboard days, and we'd drill a hole and tied a rope around our feet so the board wouldn't go into the thing, and never have rubber, so it was kind of brutal, you know. In fact, I remember that board. It was, you're gonna love this, a Dewey Weber Performer.
That's a collectible these days.
You know, remember it had the hatchet skeg? The skeg was had angles. Yeah.
That was shaped by a Hawaiian, Harold Igi.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Harold was one of him and Donald Takayama were some of the first local boys, surfers, to go to California and make a life there, building surfboards and surfing.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't. You wouldn't know it then, of course. You know what I mean. So anyway, Jerry, thank you for being here and putting up with the silliness. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you for your insight.
Nani too. Nani was the one who, this untechnological person that I am. She's the one that really gave me some encouragement and pointed me in the right direction to be here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Nani.
Thank both of you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that she does so many wonderful things, and we need to thank Nani and all the moderators, which includes Rick S, Shakalaka, Devin C, Honda, all the people, like I always say, that keep the bowling ball on the alley and out of the gutter as best they can, despite me being the bowling ball. Thank you so much, you guys. And my fancy graphic is about to hit the stage. Mahalo to all of you who are watching. I think that right there is worth the price of admission, don't you think?
That was kind of fancy.
Definitely fancy pants. Okay. So, gang, thanks so much. We're going to hit the button. Special thanks to Jerry Lopez and thanks you baga. Here we go. I'm going to hit the button, and what do we say? Watch the chat. Everybody knows. Hold on, I got to get to it. Oh, man. There we go. Look. Yeah. Oh, no. Dude. 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 Oh, the dude. Okay. Oh, man. And here's the real one.